The look of empty eyes and red coral eyes intertwined. The same long golden hair fluttered in the dusty wind of the battlefield. After a while, Ryu decided to trust this compatriot's eyes. I'm going to Bell's side. What are you going to do next? Compared to his wind, mine is more effective in destroying him. He stopped looking at Ryu, revealing the determination hidden in his heart. I'm the one who commits stupid acts. I'm also the one who dirties the goddess's feet and commits more crimes. The criminal me. I won't give it to anyone. Hedin said this and began to bombard the Freya Familia base camp. Although he goes to the main goddess Freya, they remained in the temple area in the House of God, on the west side of the island and changed the location of the base camp, but it was still a tentative firefight. The Freya Familia, members who were left behind as the faction's coalition forces were eliminated before they had time to make their debut. The stone slab exploded and the surrounding area was attacked by an electrical storm. Goddess Freya, Master Hedin has attacked the base camp. The change was transmitted directly to Freya. Upon hearing the report brought by the guards who rushed in, the goddess showed a surprised expression. For Freya, this was unexpected. Because even Freya never doubted Hedin's loyalty. Before the war game, even before the god's eye, Hedin's loyalty did not lie. I will not ask for forgiveness, Lord Freya. Hedin muttered to himself, imagining the expression the goddess would show now. This is my selfish desire. Let me use the sinner's mark as the price, to penetrate you. Accompanied by the awakening, Hedin launched more violent bombardments. No matter the enemy or us, everyone was shocked by the thunder attack. The headquarters, Freya Familia, and left wing. The clearance that included the entire main battlefield within the range circle turned the so-called battle situation upside down. What are you doing, Hedin? The four Gulliver brothers dodged all the falling magic bullets or shot them down with weapons, feeling very excited. The strong warrior was powerless to the uninterrupted threat, and they fell one by one. Facing the ultra-precise shot that only pierced Freya Familia, as well as the fierce destructive power, even adventurers with at least LV3 could no longer stand up. The full-bodied Cinderellas who would revive them are gone. After losing the protection of resurrection, they were reduced to ordinary adventurers. The strongest formation, that caused so much pain to the forces of the faction coalition, began to visibly melt to the naked eye. Sorrows and roars were carried by the wind, but Hedin didn't respond, he just started talking to himself. I said this is the strongest formation. In the range that my voice can reach, family members will move like arms and fingers. This method is the most efficient. This is the strongest formation. This is what Hedin himself said. A warrior with an excellent ability to manipulate individuals with an absolute mind. This truly possesses powerful destructive power, surpassing even the Loki family, who is known for their organization power. However, if the commander falls, or betrays, everything will be reduced to the weakest formation. On the other hand, the formation of the Freya Familia is very dependent on Hedin, even more so than for the Loki Familia, on Finn. In other words, if some kind of glitch occurs in the mind, it will collapse instantly. The chain of command no longer exists. The warriors who are very inclined to fight are running around, and at this moment, the elf who grabbed the board accurately will even shoot mercilessly. There is nothing incredible about this scene. It is a natural result. In this war game, who has the greatest magic firepower? It's Hedin. On this battlefield, who has the greatest range? It's Hedin. In this battle, who knows the configuration of the enemy and us better than anyone else, and who dominates the battle situation? All Hedin. Hedin Selen's betrayal was the only strategy that plunged this battlefield into irreversible chaos. I have conserved my spiritual power. Don't worry, I will wipe them all out, leaving no one behind. The fall of the first-level adventurer will lower the morale of all armies. What about the betrayal of the first-tier adventurer? Very simple. It's desperate. Tilt. Finn's eyes widened. Tilted. Hermes was taken by surprise. As expected, Ibri still released a large volume. The overwhelming battle situation. Because of a ghostly elf, there is no doubt that he is inclined. Heroic artillery fire erupted. Explosions continued after explosions, so violent that they even covered the entire main battlefield. Overwhelming devastation was generated, and seeing this scene, the labyrinthine city was surrounded by the third shock. Even a layman who saw this scene would know that the strongest faction suffered heavy losses. This situation goes beyond Finn's expectations, even the god Hermes couldn't read it. Clear. Even the main goddess Freya never thought such a thing could happen. But in any case, the battle situation really changed. Less than 50% of the combat power remaining. Except for the white and black knights, the first-level adventurers, the main combat power is still alive. However, the defeat of the strong warrior and the full-fledged Cinderella means that Freya-sama has no back. In the Tower of Babel, where applause and curses were interspersed, Hermes leaned towards the mirror unconsciously. There are also many main gods outside the faction coalition, and there are only 4 factions left: Hestia Familia, Mayak Familia, Hathor Familia, and Plutus Familia. The number of family members who can still fight is less than 30. The coalition army is already a false name and can be said to be almost destroyed. But the Freya Familia is the same, except for the Eastern army led by Alan and the guard troops of the House of God. The other tough warriors are almost all exterminated. The members of the 4 Gulliver brothers still frantically flee under the bombardment. To be a little more extreme, if you use the remaining troops to contain the first-level adventurer, Otter, and then gather a fighting force to attack the House of God, the faction and coalition forces should be able to reach to the Queen's weak defense. It's different from before. There's no doubt that there's still a chance to win. Observing the white elf's profile reflected in the mirror, the goddess shouted cheers. At the same time, in the Loki Familia base, Finn also had the same feeling. Otter and Alan are far away, this is very important. He sat on the bench, and the corners of his words exuded emotion. If the two cooperated with each other, even if Hedin betrayed, he could be suppressed. The strongest and fastest in the city, the combination of his power and speed is such a powerful thing. However, it is precisely because of Hedin's instructions that Alan is now on the easternmost side of the island. If it were replaced by a row, it would be an extremely long column. Not to mention that Otter is fighting in the northwest of the city ruins. Even if Alan is the fastest, this is not a distance that can be filled in an instant. Let Alan aim at the gods, gaining distance and time. Give up your own flesh and break your bones. Lily's failed battle was snatched away by him. Finn, who was looking at the board, let out admiration. And the one who uttered the outrage of "stop joking" was the person whose battle was completely swept away. What is this, really? All the benefits were taken away by him. Lily shouted loudly on top of the grave. Clear. She was almost suffocated by the tension and pressure, and the battle she thought of when she had a fever was simply used. Furthermore, what he was unable to do but the other party did easily, the frustration and inferiority portrayed a negative spiral in the small body, triggering a huge explosion. What kind of clean freak and noble elf? I think it's a super pot-bellied dark elf dash. She stomped the floor angrily. Hands and feet swinging indiscriminately. Just like Lily was crying like that with tears in her eyes, she must be saying such stupid things, don't she misunderstand me? Hedin guessed that the little girl was crying in advance, and said softly. This is all thanks to you. Your instructions are excellent. Be proud, your plan can be used directly by me. It is precisely because of ingenious setup, command, and tactics that Hedin was able to steal the battle from Lily. To put it more strictly, he judged it to have rapture value. It is precisely because of Lily that it led to its current form. Really? Haroheim, Aisha. Please move a little further away with the battle Amazons. The enemy, just ignore them. Use them as shields against bombardment. I know. Who in the world wants to be affected by this exaggerated magic? The evidence is that Lily is using magical tools to communicate and issue precise instructions. She was doing this before Hedin showed any apparent defection. Now, tough warriors can't even grab allied adventurers as shields.